Hi, my name is Rob Gordon. About 3 years ago, my successful ADHD mental health treatment program was criminalized by Family Healthcare Centers of San Diego after the mysterious disappearance of my psychiatrist from that organization. About 500 people were left without mental health care at that time, and I was part of the cover-up. I know a number of people whose lives were essentially ruined by what they did. In an attempt to get justice or at least accountability, I have called and contacted everyone you can imagine, starting at the bottom, starting with Family Healthcare Centers itself. Everyone, all the agencies that are supposed to regulate it, the medical board, uh, local regulatory agencies. It's a rigged system. I'll be talking about that extensively. But my most recent attempt is to contact the Justice Department, and I'm starting at the bottom. The United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of California. If there's one thing I've learned from this experience, it's that the stigma of mental illness is very real. But it doesn't come from society itself. The rest of society has been either indifferent or kind of supportive with my ADHD. Most people have some relative or friend that has it, and they've been more or less helpful. There's two exceptions to that, however, where I believe the stigma of mental illness really originates. One is the mental health industry itself, especially the field of psychiatry. And the other is the legal profession, especially judges. Once they hear mental illness, in my experience, immediate guilt. Mentally ill loser. So I still try to keep an open mind, but yesterday I called the Southern District Office of California, the District Attorney's Office, and I was met with overt rudeness. I don't know if this is a real name, but the voicemail showed a name, what was it? Joseph Osborne. Um, very rude, unbelievably rude. And my long list of videos I want to do someday, or eventually, maybe sooner with this one, I'm calling it the true cause of anger and outrage. And basically, it's when two combinations are combined. One is arrogance, and the other one is either stupidity or incompetence. This Joseph Osborne, if it's his real name, he had that in spades. Um, Immediately, when I told him the situation that I suspected criminal activities at Family Healthcare Centers of San Diego, tried to cut off the conversation, get rid of me, insulted me multiple times. Um, but even more than that, gave the most idiotic, stupid advice I have ever heard in my life. He said, for example, well, you have to start at the very bottom. I tried to explain to him, I did. This has been just a journey for me. And he goes, no, 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 you have to, contact the local media. First of all, there is no local media. What kind of an idiot even thinks that? And he says, call the police. Call the police? Seriously? You could be hit with a baseball bat on the street and the police wouldn't come. What is he even talking about? That is just beyond insulting. And the fact that he's a representative of our government is truly shameful. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to be calm. I'm just going to call their office. I want to file a complaint about this person. Um, because it'll just keep happening to the next guy and the system will never get better. Um, it's a digression, but it's one I have to do. Uh, and so there might be forms to fill out or something. Probably nothing will happen of it. But this is more than disappointing. It's less than, outrageous, but it's more than disappointing. I would say disgust is my feeling about it. I do have a graduate degree in public policy, and what I've seen about the people who have taken over our government, it's shameful. And people like this Joseph Osborne, if that's his real name, he should really be ashamed of himself. He shouldn't be in the government. He's probably impossible to fire. That kind of arrogance couldn't come from anyone in the business community or anywhere else, where you can get fired and there's some semblance of accountability. So I'm going to give them a call and just find out what. I'm not completely positive it's legal to record one side of a conversation in California. If it is, I'll be muting this before I publish the video. I'm not gonna let record the other side. Yeah, hi Stacy. My name is Rob Gordon. I would like to know the procedure for filing a complaint about the behavior of an employee in your office? I'm not positive his name, but on the caller ID, when I hung up, it showed as Joseph Osborne. I don't know if that's a real name or if that's just something you do. How do I? Is there a form or something that can file a complaint? Or yeah, that's what showed up on the caller ID. He was unbelievably rude. I called to report criminal behavior at family healthcare centers of San Diego. My successful mental health treatment program was criminalized there about 3 years ago by a fake psychiatrist, a man who was not my psychiatrist, who said he was. My actual psychiatrist left there. And I was part of the cover up. They left about 500 patients without medical care. A lot of people were forced into medically unsupervised withdrawal from the medications. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to help this. I just wanted to do the procedure. Okay, who would have been fielding? Who would have been fielding the call? It would have been the afternoon, the day before yesterday. Who would have been? Was it you I spoke with? The same. Do you remember me talking about it? You would remember, I would think. Are the phone calls recorded? Okay, well, how do I file a complaint without knowing the person's name, just knowing the approximate time of the call, or the exact time, because it will be in my call? Is there an email I can write, or well, I'll have the time. It might be you. I mean, now you seem perfectly nice and reasonable right now, but I don't. The voice doesn't sound right. I don't know if it's you or not. I do want to. You probably have. Everybody has a boss, right? I mean, who can I report this to? Okay, you know what? You know what? It does sound like you. Now I am getting the tone of the voice. I think it is you. So who do I report this to? Can I speak with your supervisor? It says his name is Stacy. I think I'm on hold. It is the same guy. Okay, we're gonna have to look at the timing here. I'm gonna pause this. It's the same guy. He might be taking millions of calls, but that's not the way to handle it. And he hung up on me after 5 minutes on hold. So I'm gonna call back, and I'm not gonna make you guys listen to a phone call. So I'm gonna pause this. That was absolutely ridiculous. I've encountered tons, my share of rudeness on this journey, for want of a better word. Um, the actual name on the caller ID, including this one, he identified himself as Stacy, but the name is Joseph Urbana. I had mistakenly written that down as Joseph Osborne, and he was dwelling on it. And I corrected the mistake. I said I made a mistake. It was Joseph Urbana. He said, sir, you said that. First, you told me you said a dozen names. It's difficult for me to conceive of a worse representative for the federal government here in San Diego, in the United States Attorney's Office. So he's got some problem: mental illness, extreme burnout, untreated ADHD. It could be anything. He would not let me make a complete sentence. He would say repeatedly, "Sir, are you done? Are you done?" And I'd have to say yes. And I would wait and I'd pause. He goes, "I just want to make really sure you're done." He gave the most idiotic, stupid, insulting advice: call the police. Anything to get rid of a person. I don't know if he's an attorney. I don't know if he's an overworked temp worker they hired. Nobody likes to hear that you want to file a complaint about them. But usually, you put it through and the boss is on your side. Nothing happens anyway. I've never seen anything worse than that. That's again, we have to prevent this stuff from happening to the next guy. So I'm not done with them. Now, but now, I do plan on getting the District Attorney of the United States involved in this if I can. I'm going to at least compile some material and send a letter. I don't want to have to mention this rude guy that. And he's on the front end of this organization. That is just horrible. No wonder people hate the government with people like that. Anyway, I may or may not publish this video, but it's not done yet. And boy, I just got an anomaly at the Southern District of California, United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of California. I hope that's an anomaly. Maybe he's going through a divorce. It could be anything, but that kind of behavior is just unacceptable. I made this video yesterday, or the previous parts of this video yesterday. There was another call that I recorded my end of it that was even more absurd. I'm not going to bother posting that part of it or commenting on it. And I want to repurpose this video a little bit. Instead of talking about how my successful mental health care was criminalized at family health care centers of San Diego by people I've never even met, I want to I'll be making more videos about that, so don't even pay attention to that part. This is just about you, your services, and what this particular individual is doing. You need to have your own investigation. If he's done it to me, he's doing it to other people. Again, the name on the phone, on the caller ID, Joseph Urbana. You probably already know that. We argued endlessly about that because I made a mistake that I told him about. The calls were made Wednesday, August 23rd at 2:05 p.m. and there were two calls on Friday, 4:13 p.m. and 4:27 p.m. A while ago, I worked. I was the manager of a motel, and our construction manager there. We were peers. I was in charge of some employees there, but not him. And he started going crazy and saying just kind of insane stuff. He would say things like, "People here are making my dog sick," and just stuff that didn't make any sense. I had to tell my boss, the owner of the motel, I said, "I want you to know, this is not just a dispute between coworkers. Something different is going on here. You have to talk to this guy and listen to him." I'm saying more or less the same thing here. Whatever you think about me, if you've seen other of my videos, there's going to be many more. Please disregard that for now. You've got a problem here. Maybe have somebody else call, but he needs to be pulled. I mean, this cannot be normal, what he's doing. This is just normally a routine thing where, if somebody has to complain to the boss, they send it to the boss, and the boss gets rid of the call. It was nicer, perceive some form that nobody ever look at. As an aside, there didn't seem to be any kind of call logging. They didn't take my name. Their whole purpose, or his whole purpose, seemed to be to get rid of the calls people make. Why don't you record the calls? Then people wouldn't have to. Then he wouldn't act that way in the first place. It's like having a cop on the beat. Fewer crimes happen. Even small business. Every business handles things better than that. But recording the call, having a formal call logging system, something is really wrong with this office. I just want to concentrate on this one guy for now. But boy, this is your procedure. This is a real problem. But this is just wrong. I don't know if he's a temp worker that you've hired to just tell to blow people off right and left. He says he gets hundreds of calls. He said he had hundreds of calls in the 2 days between I talked to him the first time and the second time. Something needs to be done. I don't think this is routine. It could not be. There would have been blowback by now. If it's routine, it is absolutely shameful. He's a representative of the federal government in San Diego. That shouldn't be. But he needs to be pulled. This cannot be normal, what he's doing. This is just normally a routine thing where, if somebody has to complain to the boss, they send it to the boss, and the boss gets rid of the call. It was nicer, perceive some form that nobody ever look at. But this is just wrong. I don't know if he's a temp worker that you've hired to just tell to blow people off right and left. He says he gets hundreds of calls. He said he had hundreds of calls in the 2 days between I talked to him the first time and the second time. Something needs to be done. I don't think this is routine. It could not be. There would have been blowback by now. If it's routine, it is absolutely shameful. He's a representative of the federal government in San Diego. That shouldn't be. So I just would like somebody to help get the word out. The U.S. acting U.S. Attorney Andrew Hayden. Obviously, that phone number is no use whatsoever. There's apparently no way to escalate this, but maybe filing a lawsuit. So you guys really have to do something about this. It's absolutely horrible what's going on there. So I'm hoping somebody in law enforcement will know a way to get through to him, maybe have a private email or something. Please forward the link to this video. This is for your own good, not for mine. Thank you for your attention.